Welcome to the Get Organized HQ podcast. I'm your host, Tasha Lawrence. Every week, we share practical strategies for less stress and more peace as we dive into all topics life and home organization. I'm so glad you're here for this week's episode. Well, it is the last episode of our Get Organized Once and for All series. We've been talking about strategies and tools that you can use to maintain your organized spaces and systems and also to get them set up in the first place. We've talked about habits. We've talked about tackling the most difficult tasks first. We've talked about what to do on the bad days, and we've talked about eliminating time wasters and those things that actually are not filling our cup. And the last thing that we're covering today is accountability and motivation. The two really go hand in hand. And if you've heard it said before that find a buddy to encourage you and you're thinking, I've tried and it's a lot harder to do that than it sounds like, I understand. And I want to dive into that topic today. So I'm so glad you're here for this week's episode. Let's talk about finding support groups, finding motivation and encouragement, because it is no secret that having a friend to encourage you can be a game changer. And we think about that a lot in the context of having someone to pick you up when you're feeling down. Man, I cannot tell you how helpful it's been to have friends who were there for me on days when I've been down. I've needed that in the past. I know I'm going to need it in the future. It is something that has been a huge blessing in my life. But I have also really, really needed my friends when I am on cloud nine. I want someone to come and celebrate with me, sometimes even in the silliest, littlest things. Just a couple of weeks ago, I cleaned out some major spaces in my home. So I have a relatively decluttered home, but I think everyone has those catch-all spaces where you put the delayed decisions. So when you are decluttering and there's that last 5 items and you're thinking, I don't think I want to get rid of these, but I really don't know where they go. Do you know where they go in my house? They go in the guest room closet. That's where they go. And it had just kind of filled up with a lot of stuff. And there were a couple little places like that. They were really out of the way. You would have never noticed them if you walked into my house, but I knew that they were there and I wanted to clean them out. And I finally got them decluttered. I took a big load of stuff to the donation center and I was super excited. And being able to connect with a friend and be like, guess how much decluttering I got done? I'm so excited to show you this space that I've worked on. That was just as impactful as having those friends there on the bad days. So, good days, bad days, having a support group is a game changer. But it's so easy to say, but it can be difficult to find that encouragement and support. So, where do you even look for something like that? So, start with your friends and family. Even if you're thinking, I really don't know. I'm not sure if I have a close friend or a sister or a family member who would really be interested in the goals that I have for my life and for my home. I mean, it sounds weird to text someone a picture of my cleaned out closet and be like, hey, I'm super excited about this. I want to encourage you, pick a friend and give it a try. Maybe send them a text and say, hey, I have really been struggling with my laundry routine. And I really randomly wanted to share that I have gone a whole week doing one load a day. And I'm super excited about it. Just send that text and see what they say. And my guess is that you will find more common ground than you're expecting. And that is how community is built. If everyone is afraid to step out there to make that bid for connection, that is when connection doesn't happen. So if you have a friend you've been wanting to get close to, or that you're thinking, I at least feel like I could give this a try, go ahead and send that text, start that conversation, and see if you can build a deeper friendship. I really don't think anyone is going to be like, I can't believe that you texted me about your laundry routine. Not every friend is going to be a great texter. Not every friend is going to become your new best buddy who comes over and helps you declutter. But try to start those conversations, see what sticks, and start with the friends and family that are already in your circle. And it honestly might surprise you. The other thing I would say is definitely look for online communities. There are all sorts of Facebook groups and memberships and platforms that you can join and you can get part of different chat threads and things like that. Probably a lot of the people you already follow have online communities. I know that we have a paid community called the Get Organized HQ Insiders. Casey Pratt was recently on the Get Organized HQ podcast, and she has a totally free community that you can join online. But anyone that you follow, just start looking around because I bet you there are more of them than you think that host communities. And that's a great place to start. Like you already have that rapport with that person that you're following. You already know what the central message of that community is going to be. And so that's a kind of safe place to start, if you know what I mean, right? You know that you're joining a place that's all about encouraging decluttering or encouraging having good systems in place, people who are on the same wavelength as you. So start poking around and seeing if you can find some different places to follow. And the great thing about online communities is it's super non committal to join them. You can join them and you can kind of hang around, see what other people are posting, see how other people are reacting to what other people are posting, and see if this is the kind of place that you would like to spend more time and start to kind of grow down some roots and build some connections and relationships in that community. The other thing I would encourage you to do is to fill your mind with things that inspire you. It can really make a difference when you are filling your head with the right stuff. And I know that this is a little bit different than direct accountability or encouragement or friendship. But if there is someone that you follow online, maybe they have a YouTube channel or some newsletter that you can get from them once a week, and you find that really encouraging and motivating, continue putting that in front of yourself. Keep reading that. Keep listening to that person. Keep filling your mind with those principles. It's kind of like that online presence becomes your little shoulder angel, right? To keep encouraging you down the path that you're on. Get Organized HQ Virtual, the virtual conference that we have annually in September, is a fantastic place to go for that inspiration. I grew up going to summer camps, and I've always described Get Organized HQ Virtual as a summer camp for women who want to get organized. Like, if you ever went to summer camps, you know the vibe. Like, everyone's super excited and super inspired by the end of the week, and like, everyone's going to go home and have the best school year ever. That was the vibe at the end of summer camp. And that is what it feels like at the end of Get Organized HQ Virtual. So much inspiration, so much decluttering happens that week just because there are thousands of women filling their head with these truths and these ideas, and you can't help but have that translate into your life and your home. So, in the show notes, there's going to be a wait list. Registration is not actually quite open yet. It will be open soon, but there'll be a wait list for Get Organized HQ Virtual, and you can go and sign up for the wait list. If you happen to be listening to this when Get Organized HQ Virtual is already happening, then you should also be getting an email from that about how to register, but it's completely free. It's over 100 sessions, all about life and home organization, the things we talk about on this podcast. So, whether it's the free Get Organized HQ virtual conference or some other platform that you follow and find encouraging, continue to fill your head with these messages that move you in the direction you want to go. But once you kind of start to find either an online community or maybe you find a friend or two or three in a fitness class that you go to or in your church group or your next door neighbor, once you start to connect with those people, what do you do next? And I really want to encourage you to remember that helping others is actually the best way to help yourself. And it sounds a little counterintuitive, but it is so true. When you can be the person to be like, hey, I noticed that you did a really great job with this thing. Or I love how you have organized your spice drawer. I love how you've organized the toy room. Whatever it is, offering that word of encouragement, you are going to feel great because you know that you brighten someone else's day. And that is such a good feeling. And that is also a fantastic foundation to build lasting friendships and connections on top of. Other people are going to feel safe connecting with you when they see what an encourager you are. And so I am just a big believer that when you go into a community, look for ways that you can pour into other people and see if that doesn't come full circle and start encouraging you in turn. Also, don't be afraid to join the conversation. This kind of goes back to that, hey, send a text to a friend and see what happens, but also in an online community. Don't be afraid to make that post, to post the before and after picture, to ask a question, to say what's on your mind, because being open and having those conversations is how community is built. And so be sure that you are part of the conversation because that's how you're going to form those connections. And that is it. We have now spent the last several weeks talking about how to get organized once and for all. And the truth is that the things we've talked about, they apply in your home. They apply for your personal life goals. They apply for your work goals. They apply in so many circumstances. Habits, they're going to serve you at home. They're going to serve you at work. They're going to serve you in your fitness goals. Eating your frog, doing the most difficult thing first is so important. Bad days, they happen to absolutely everyone. And time wasters, they are a pitfall for everyone as well. It's not something that is ever going to be tackled completely perfectly, but it's about putting you in the driver's seat of where your time is going and accountability and motivation for your home, for your life, for all of your goals. These are the components that help you continue to make progress and move forward with your organized spaces, with the systems for your home, and with so many other things. So I hope that throughout this series, you found some helpful nuggets that you can take and apply. Remember, all the other podcast episodes, they're already up. So if you missed one of the previous episodes, definitely go back and take a listen. Next week, we are going to be diving back into having a special guest on the podcast. It's been a while since we've had a guest on to interview and hear about their day. And so be sure to tune in next week to find out who our next guest is and hear some tips and tricks that you might be able to apply taken from their life. Thanks so much for joining me this week.